Hi, in this video we're going to find the side length of a right angle triangle when we've got more complicated surd expressions for the other lengths. And if you haven't seen my videos on how we manipulate surds, remember surds are just square roots of numbers, then please do watch those videos first. Right, now we can use Pythagoras theorem here, and just a reminder of Pythagoras theorem, we label the two shorter sides of the triangle A and B, and we label the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, which is always opposite the right angle, as C. And then by Pythagoras theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. If you haven't covered Pythagoras theorem before, please watch those videos first. Now let's substitute these lengths in. A is x, so we've got x squared, plus b is 5 plus root 10. So we're going to do all of 5 plus root 10 squared. We need the brackets there because we want to square that whole expression. And that is equal to c squared, which is 5 root 2 plus root 5 all squared, like that. Yep. Now, what I'm going to do now is expand out these brackets. So you could write this bracket out twice. And in fact, I'm going to do that actually, because that's just going to be slightly easier to see what's going on. So 5 plus root 10 times 5 plus root 10 is equal to 5 root 2 plus root 5, 5 root 2 plus root 5, like that. Now let's expand out these brackets. Remember, we do each thing in the first bracket times each term in the second bracket. So we're going to do like the 5 times the 5, for example. So we've got x squared plus 5 times 5 is 25. We're going to do the first thing times the second thing. So 5 times root 10 is just 5 root 10. We've also got this times this, the root 10 times 5, which is 5 root 10 again. And we've also got root 10 times root 10. Root 10 times root 10 is just 10. If you times a square root, a surd by itself, it just gets rid of the square root. So we just get 10. And that is equal to, if we expand this out on the right, we do each term in the first bracket times each in the second. So 5 root 2 times 5 root 2. Now, the way you do this is you do 5 times 5, which is 25. And root 2 times root 2 is just 2. And then 25 times 2 is 50. So we've got 50 there. And then what else we got? We need to do 5 root 2 times the root 5. Now, we've got the 5, which is a non-surd, so the 5 just stays as 5. And the root 2 times the root 5 is root 10. So we have 5 root 10. And then what other terms we got? I'm running out of space. We've also got root 5 times 5 root 2. Now, the root 5 times the root 2 is root 10, but we've also got this 5, the non-surd, so you've got another 5 root 10. And then finally, we've got this root 5 times root 5. Root 5 times root 5 is just 5. So we get 5 there. Right, now I noticed that we've got 2 lots of 5 root 10 on both sides of the equation. So I'm going to just cancel those by subtracting them. So that makes things a lot easier. So we're just left with x squared plus 25 plus 10 is 35. And on the right-hand side, I've got 50 plus 5 is 55. And now I can subtract 35 from both sides of the equation to give you 20 on the right-hand side. And then to get rid of that squared, I can square root both sides of the equation. And that gives you x is equal to root 20. Now, once the answer is a simplified surd, now to simplify the surd, remember we find the biggest square factor that goes into 20. What's the square factor of 20? Well, 4 is a square number. That's a factor of 20. So what we do is we write the root 20 as root 4. We put that square number first. And then root whatever the other number is that 4 times is pi to get to 20. So it's 4 times 5 is 20. So we write the root 20 as root 4. Root 5, putting the square number first. Now, the square root of 4 is just 2, isn't it? So it's just 2 root 5. And that is the final answer. We've worked out x in simplified surd form.